Hi friends, strike. 9 questions regarding strike. The first question: what is the meaning of strike? Whether the word strike has been defined in any of the laws in India? The answer is yes. The definition of strike has been given in Industrial Dispute Act, which is very important act in labor industry or labor department. Section 2, subclause Q defines the meaning of strike. Strike is nothing but the cessation of work. It can be said as the stopping of work by the workers or union. To be precise, I would like to read the definition of strike. Strike means a cessation of work by a body of persons employed in any industry acting in combination, or a concerned refusal or a refusal under a common understanding of any number of persons who are or have been so employed to continue to work or to accept employment. Now, if you look at the definition, it clearly shows that the stopping of work by workers or union is nothing but the strike, but it can be called by any number of persons. So the number of people who should be involved in strike is not specified. This means that any number of people can go on strike. This is the first question. The second question is how the people belonging to which industry can go on strike. This is a very important question. The worker may be belonging to the private industry, or the worker may be belonging to the public industry. Any worker belonging to any industry can go on strike. There is no legal hurdle. So private industry and public industry, strike is equally applicable. However, having said that, there are some exceptions, and some workers cannot go on strike. For example, people who are working in police force, they cannot go on strike, because if they go on strike, police people, if they go on strike, then that would create a question of law and order. So there is a legal barrier. Some people cannot go on strike, but this is an exception. Else, anybody can go on strike. The third question: what is the view of Supreme Court of India on strike, or the activity of strike called by the workers and unions? The Supreme Court of India has clearly said that strike is an important weapon in the armory of workers and unions. So the Supreme Court of India also recognizes the validity and the power of strike called by the unions and workers. They stand in favor of strike if it is legal. Supreme Court has given recognition to the word strike. So strike is very important armory, very important weapon in the armory of the unions and workers. Now the fourth question: what are the types of strike? The first strike is, we have discussed that the stopping of work or the cessation of work is nothing but the strike. Having said that, there are some varieties which can be done by the workers when they go on strike. For example, they can go on hunger strike, they can call for wildcat strike, they can go for all out strike, they can go for general strike, they can go for sympathy strike, they can go for go slow strike, they can go for go fast strike, they can go for pen down strike. There are so many varieties that can be done by the workers when they go on strike. The fifth question: why do we go on strike? The first point that we go on strike is when there is unhappiness over the policies of the company. I feel that the policies are exploiting me as a worker, then I can go on strike. My union can go on strike. The people who are working there can go on strike. The second thing is that if there is any unfair labor practice performed on behalf of the company management, then also the workers and the union can go on strike. Third, if there is a payment issue, at that time also the workers can go on strike. If there is an incentive problem, at that time also there can be a strike by the workers. If the company is exploiting you, if the company is not giving you proper opportunity in promotions, then also you can go on strike. Apart from that, if the company makes a dismissal of any of the worker without any proper reason, at that time also there can be a strike which can be called by the union and workers. There are n number of reasons because of which you can go on strike, but you have to follow proper procedure which has been laid down in Industrial Dispute Act. This is the fifth question. Now we come to the sixth question. The sixth question is, will I be able to get payment if I go on strike for the striking period? The answer is yes and no. We have to discuss this issue in detail. The normal principle which is recognized, which is applied in India is, if they don't work, they will not be able to get payment. If I don't work, I will not be able to get the payment. I have to work to get the payment. When I go on strike, I don't work, I stop my work, so how could the company give me payment? This is a normal principle which is applied in India according to the directions of Supreme Court of India. But this is not the rule. There are some exceptions, and we have to look at the exceptions also. There are some exceptions that even though you go for a strike, you may be given wages during the salary during the strike period. So we have to look at the condition, we have to look at the situation, what the situation is. So when we want to look at the situation and when we want to get the payment even during the striking duration, normally it is not given because no pay, no pay policy is applied. But there are some exceptions. So we have to first find out the four root causes or four root points. The first point is illegal and unjustified strike. Second is legal and justified strike. Third is legal but unjustified strike. And the fourth is illegal but justified strike. So you have to find out under which category your strike falls in. For example, if the strike is both legal and justified, at the time there may be an order to pay the workers salary even during the striking period. So this can be discussed or this can be decided by the adjudicator appointed by the orders of the court. And if the adjudicator finds that the strike is both legal as well as it is justified, then order may be passed regarding the payment of wages to the workers even during the period of strike. This can be also done. So we have to find out whether the strike is legal, illegal, justified, unjustified. If the strike is legal as well as justified, at the time order may be issued to pay the payment or wages to the workers even during the period of strike. So this also can be done. Then the next question is, what is the procedure to go for the strike? The point is, you have to give a notice, a pre-notice to the management that you want to go for a strike, and this notice will remain in force for a period of 6 weeks. For example, if I give the notice of strike to the management on 1st of January, then that notice will remain in force up to 15th of February. So this is the notice period of 6 weeks. Now I cannot go on strike before 15th of January. I say so because once you give notice, you have to wait for 14 days. So if I give a notice on 1st of January, then I have to wait till 14th of January, and I can go on strike from 15th of January till 15th of February, because the notice period is 6 weeks, but I have to wait for 14 days from the date of giving of notice. So I can go on strike from the period between 15th of January till 15th of February. If you specify the date, then you have to specify a date which is from 15th of January till 15th of February. So the notice period, the notice remains in force for a period of 6 weeks, and you have to wait till 14 days from the date of giving of the notice. If you follow this procedure, then your strike will not be called as illegal strike. It would be a legal strike. You have to keep in mind, you have to give the notice, you have to specify the timing, you have to wait for 14 days, the notice will remain in force for 6 weeks. So you have to follow these rules which have been laid down in Industrial Dispute Act. Remember, strike is your right, but you have to use it in exceptional situations. It is not a rule, it is not a normal activity. It is something which has to be done, called in exceptional situations. You have to find out, you have to try to achieve the solution of your problems by discussing, by negotiating with the management. Strike is the last resort, but you have got that right, you have got the legal right to use strike as weapon. But make sure your strike is legal one and not the illegal one. If your strike is legal one, nobody can take action against you. But if your strike is illegal, the management will come very heavy on you, and you will have to suffer under the hammer of the management legally. Thank you so much.